Hi everyone, it's been a while since the last post, so it's good to get back out again. And moving into 2021, I have a goal to stay much more consistent with the content I put out. I'm going to try and organize it. If you have any suggestions for videos, please put them in the comments or contact me directly. Would love to put more stuff out there that directly influences your game in a positive way. So remember to hit subscribe, and I look forward to helping you all in 2021. So what we've got today is a drill based for a player that gets steep in transition, something that I've seen lots of players get into. So the player that actually came in and had a session with me recently, here's the image of how he would look just after transition moving into the downswing. You can see how the shaft gets lined up with that lead arm, and that's the reference in the steep position of the club coming down. From there, it's really hard to start that ball on line and not have it shape out to the right. So the misses the player had were struggling to get the ball to launch, low ones out to the right, or occasional pulls, but really hard to get the ball to really land in a good proximity to the target. So you can see maybe in the video there from the angle that his tendency would be to line up with his feet left to accommodate that steep angle of attack and cut the ball on line. Okay, so simple practice station here for players. I like them to take away a practice station for themselves that really helps them to achieve the main objectives of the session. So the objective of the session was to primarily get the club coming more through the right forearm, or maybe from just above it. That would indicate a shallower angle of delivery, and then from there that's going to allow the player then to rotate more freely through the shot. Once you get a bit steep here, the body typically stalls the rotations to allow you to manage the face through impact. So if we can do well in that first stage of the downswing, then we can actually rotate through and control the face a lot better. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a nice turning backswing, make sure that we're getting a good rotation here at the chest. Make sure we're not getting the club too deep. So with the noodle here, and I'll go over more precisely where it's placed in just a second, we're going to move away, and you can see I've allowed a little bit of space for the club in takeaway to just pass it. So that's one of the keys in doing this little drill, is allow the club to just pass it. We're not going to really avoid it huge amounts in the backswing. So we're just going to pass it, make a nice turn to the top, and then initiating downswing with the left hip moving upwards. We're going to keep space between our belt buckle and the stick that's on the floor, and allow our hands and arms to move more into this position here where the shaft's more through the right forearm. And then from there you can even rehearse on letting your body open, and you can see how then through the shot, with it being open, I can manage the face quite nicely. I can start it right and hit that draw if that's what I'm looking for. So I'll get in here and I'll rehearse that, and it's a really nice reference there, the amount of space between the noodle and my right shoulder coming into the shot to give me room. If I was to do the paw pattern that we're working away from, you'd see how much that noodle would come into play. Okay, so let's hit one there. We'll get set up. Nice rehearsal back. I just didn't quite rotate through that one the way that I would like to. That was why the ball started left. I think I had too much attention on just that first stage of downswing that kind of got stuck here and then released it. So let's get here, get the space, and then continue to get open to the target. You can see I got the ball teed up here purely so I don't have to move the station around too much. And that's a nice little draw that I'm looking for there. I did mention as far as the noodle and the setup, I would go over quickly. So from the ball to the noodle distance wise is 2 paces, and then outside the ball line the noodle is set up 2 club heads outside there. So pretty easy one to set up. The angle you can just take a guess just from looking at the image there. Okay, so there's some good keys there to really help you moving into 2021. If your tendency is that move in the first move down, let's start that movement with the left hip up. Keep the distance from the belt buckle and the stick, even maybe if you'll get deeper, and let those arms move into the space that creates, using the noodle as a reference as to how well you're doing that in the transition.